Towards the coach, it's a beautiful looking kick. Good stepping from Davies. What the beauty! Harris's third goal, and you can put that done down equally, I'd imagine, to Harris and Davies, the man who shepherded in the square. 3 goals to Harris, 9 goals to South, and what a magnificent first quarter by the Panthers.
Well, South Adelaide showing the ability to harass Sturt every inch of the way, just not giving them any chance to get their skill game going, and they get the ball forward with their own particular skill to Harris and Davies, and Beckler the big dangers.
5-minute mark of the second quarter, and South extending their lead to 10-3, 63 to 1-1-7. Now the shot on goal from Fairclough. They are absolutely doing as they like, the Panthers, this afternoon. The score I read you is now 6 points out of date. South 11-3, 69, 62 points clear of Sturt, 1-1-7.
And that's another one. That's his second, and that's number 12 to South Adelaide. 12 goal 3, Sturt, 1 goal 1.
South in control at the moment, 75 to 13. A chance to rove it out of defence. They're really fiddling around down there. Good tackle applied to Martin. Derrington trying to get the kick on goal. Finally the kick comes out. It's a brilliant goal to the Blues. They worked hard for it, and finally off the boot of front. It long again towards Davies. In the middle of the pack-up, brilliant mark. Rick Davies has been supreme in the air today. He was that time squeezed in between 2 Sturt opponents, and the man with the judgment pulled in the mark. Now he has 5 goals, and from 35 metres, 45-degree angle, Rick Davies a fair chance of making it 6. A lot of concentration behind that one. 6 goals to the Jumbo Prince, and South going further ahead. 14 goals 3 now, 87. Sturt 5-1, 31. So the Panthers leading by 56 points.
Reid, and tried to get away from him. Well tackled Reid, but the handball finally falls to Harris. Harris has put through another one. That's goal number 4 to Harris. And South Adelaide march on to 19 goals 5. Sturt 9 goals 2.
South leads 63 points. Derrington, the kick didn't go far. Now Klomp. Out wide, Frost, good play.
Get the smile off his face. Rick Davies, South Adelaide 25-10 in the big upset today, defeating Sturt 20 goals 8. Our guest from that game, Neil Craig, a disappointed Neil Craig, obviously, and a very, very elated John Beckler, and David Mackay was at the game.
Yes, and what an emotional game it was for Rick Davies. Both clubs played down the fact that it was Rick versus Sturt prior to the game, but as the game panned out, it's exactly what it was. Rick Davies with 9 goals today. He gave away 5, and every time the ball came down into the forward line, the Sturt defenders endeavoured to harass him to no avail, and Wilmot kicked 5 today, and it did show why the Sturt selectors had a problem with Davies and Wilmot at Sturt on selection night. Sneezy, you must be very happy with Rick's performance today.
Yes, he went exceptionally well today. Yeah, it was a big game for him.
Did he let the players know that it was a big game?
Well, actually, he played really low key. I think the press did that for him, but before the game, he stressed it. It wasn't just for him; it was basically for all of us.
Well, where did you find the run today? The South Adelaide side were just streaming down the field.
Yeah. I mean, it really shows how we can play. That's the frustrating part. 1 week we'll come out and play really well, as we did today, and the following week is different.
Neil, South were able to get 8 goals clear in the first quarter, but you matched them goal for goal the final 3 quarters. In actual fact, the final quarter you outscored them. How can you afford to give a side 8 goals start?
Well, we can't, David. It's obvious, I think. We were aware that South could do that, because I think in the 2 games in which they've won, they've had that similar sort of start. And they were good enough to do it again, so you just can't do it.
Neil, so much of football, success in football emanates out of the middle, out of the centre. In that first quarter, was Christie on top of Spiel, or was it the dominance of Nailey?
Yeah, I thought Mark Nailey read Frank's hand pretty well, not only in the first quarter, but most of the day, and I thought he was a fantastic player today, Mark Maley.
Neil, you didn't get much drive today around the ground from Peter Motley.
Well, not compared to the way he has been playing, David, but I think as a young captain, I'm not sure it's Darren or David, John would know, but...
David, actually.
Yeah, David, he did a very good job on Peter.
John, can I ask you, was that a preconceived plan that David Kapler would shadow Motley all day?
Well, not so much shadow. I mean, he did stand him all day, and you know, Peter's a very, very good player, so obviously the player that he is, he's always at the ball, so that gives David the opportunity to get the ball as well.
I asked because KG would turn in his seat if he knew today that a tagger was able to take the third superstar Peter Motley out of the game.
Played very well.
David's done that on several occasions. Rick's used him since going to coach South Adelaide. He's used David Kapler I think he used him to tag John Platten, didn't
he?
Right, yeah, and did a very good job. Yeah, he's that kind of player. He's very fit, strong and very disciplined.
There's a boy in the back pocket that we don't hear much about, Lockman, and I was very impressed with his game today.
Lockie, yeah, top player. He stood Michael Graham, and I thought he did a very good job on him. He's a very disciplined player. An
excellent job, and of course the two old stagers, Brooksby and Palmer, in the back lines, they were very strong for you today.
Yeah, very disciplined again. Stewie stood Clompy, and as Stewie probably didn't star himself, he did a very disciplined job on him.
Played it very tight, evidently, Stewie.
Very tight, yeah.
Well, what about Sturt from here, Neil? I know that you know, one loss doesn't make the end of the season, but you wouldn't have enjoyed that loss today.
No, it was a bit of a steadier for us, Ian. Could prove costly in the long run because it puts us back in the fourth spot, and we'd budgeted to win that match and win it well. So we've got to take stock and start again.
Right. Neil, you played today?
Yes, David, I played today.
Pulled up all right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Sneezer. Just get that twin off, can you? David, you're the best players and goalkeepers for us.
Certainly have, Das. Rick Davies today for South Adelaide was their major contributor with 9 goals. Harris and Schneebichler with 5 were their other major contributors. For Sturt, Wilmot and Motley with 5 today, and both of those players from limited opportunities, while the best players for South Adelaide, the Jumbo Prince, best on ground today, 9 goals and gave many away. Nailey Roving was second best on ground, and John Schneebichler I gave third best on ground today and third best for South. Other good players for South were Harris, David Kapler doing a tagging job, Brooksby Palmer, Lockman, Christie, Fairclough and Bennett, while for Sturt, Merv Kane tried everything that he possibly could to get his Sturt players in defence into attack. Whittlesey played well, Wilmot and Motley with limited opportunities, Painter, Frost and Smith today.
Thank you, David. Central Districts that deliver.
Clash between South Adelaide and Sturt, and Graham, I would imagine down at the Panthers Club tonight there'd be plenty of cheering, and Rick Davies would probably be one of the happiest men in Adelaide.
Happiest man in town, Rick Davies, that's for sure, Rick. And there'll be great jubilation down at the Panther Club tonight. And what a day it was for Rick and South Adelaide. Like, he covered himself with the glory of the big fella. He kicked 9 goals too, from 11 shots for goal, which was a magnificent performance. Well helped by John Schneebichler. Captain John Schneebichler chimed in with 5 goals today, as did Darren Harris out of the pocket. And that's where they beat Sturt, with the great contribution by those 3 players. 19 goals out of a total of 25 is not a bad effort from 3 people. But it was more than that. The whole South Adelaide side was turned on by Rick Davies today. They wanted to give him a fitting sort of message to Sturt, if you like, to say, well, he should never have been let go, although South are happy he was let go because he coached them to a great victory. It was more than that also. The whole side just chimed in. They all had something to say with the win. There was run-on football. There was all the tackling and the smothering. Nailey around the packs was great. The whole thing just fit into a pattern. And the game was over by quarter time. And all fairness to Sturt, they fought it out to the bitter finish, but they couldn't make up that leeway. 9 goals to 1 at quarter time it was, and Sturt just plugged away but could not make up the break.
Certainly a magnificent game of football at Football Park. We've got highlights coming your way a little later in the show tonight. But first up to the match of the day down at the Prospect and Sturt. And of course, it was an emotional day for the new coach of South Adelaide in Rick Davies. He was playing against his former club in Sturt. He wanted to do well personally, and I think he also wanted his side to do well, because since Rick Davies has been at the helm of the Panthers, they have certainly improved this season. Of course, they're still in bottom place on the table, and today they faced the 3rd place side on the premiership table in Sturt. And of course, as usual, Rick Davies did pull a few surprise moves as to the side that was published in the media during the week. Davies himself went to full forward. Darren Harris, who's been a great player for South Adelaide, went to a forward pocket, and we saw John Schneebichler start at centre-half forward. And there was also a move made by coach Rick Davies to tag the star of the Sturt side in Peter Motley with David Kaplan. It really did work in the first half of the game. As we pick up the action now with highlights of the first quarter, South Adelaide out of the blocks in great style. As we see South Adelaide come out of defence through Ryan. Over the top to David Kaplan. Kaplan to Bennett in the centre of the ground. He's playing centre today, Michael Bennett. Drives up forward, looking for Davies, using his body mark. So Rick Davies draws first blood against his old side in Sturt. Against his old colleague. Davies' kick looks pretty straight off the boot. It is the first goal on the board for South Adelaide. Rodney Campbell, who today is wearing number 1 for South Adelaide, wore 49 last week. Top kick. Kicks long. Again looking for Harris this time. He's got front spot. And already Darren Harris and Rick Davies giving South Adelaide plenty to shoot at in the forward line. Darren Harris is a very long kick. The distance will not worry him in the slightest. And the accuracy is there as well. South Adelaide 2 straight goals. They're 12 points. Sturt yet to score.
Peter Reid's gone back to mind Harris, who almost took the ball again. Philip Ward with it for the Panthers. Here comes number 3. They've got it. 3 goals straight, South Adelaide. Sturt yet to score. In towards centre-half forward. Nobody home at the moment. Oh, great bump by Kaplan. Put Motley down. Away he went.
Martin gives it back to David Kaplan in the 1-2, and he drives long. Panthers into attacking game. Up goes Schneebichler. He's paid the mark.
Too good for Mervyn Kane, John Schneebichler.
South already with 3 straight goals on the board. This could be a fantastic start for the Panthers. It is. 4 goals, South Adelaide. Sturt still yet to open their account.
There comes Troy belting through. He puts it right down into the square, and we'll see the battle now. And there's a mark. Was it paid? It is. It's Darren Harris. And there's that height problem showing up again. Not 12 minutes gone. And they're 5 goals down.
Over the half-forward line. Palmer couldn't quite hold it. Here's Motley now. He'll turn. He's got a bit of balance. His kick's a short one, and it's marked by Brooksby.
The free kick's been paid.
Another shot, another shot.
So Peter Motley will have a shot for goal. Very deliberate. And that looks good. So Sturt finally hit the scoreboard at the 13-minute mark of the first quarter. Peter Motley's goal. Sturt have got 1, South 5. They tried that during the night series and really didn't work. Davies, another opportunity. Kick looks better off the boot. The goal umpire hardly moves at all. And it's 2 goals to Rick Davies. South Adelaide 6 goals, 1. They're 37 points. Sturt 1 goal, 6. Over the half-forward line. Up goes Harris. Off hands, beautifully read by Daly. Shows a bit of pace. Has a look to see where Davies is and kicks it across the ground. Finds his couch. Well, it's good football by South Adelaide. And
when Mark Nardi gets that ball, something always happens. He exploded with his trickiness and got it to Rick Davies, who picked up a relatively easy mark, and I think he's nailed that.
His 4th kick. Rick Davies has got 3 goals. South Adelaide have got 7.
He puts the Panthers deep into attack into the pocket. There's Schneebichler. He's cleaning up Kane. So Schneebichler lines up now to find Davies again.
He'll go to the square.
And he's gone right to the square. It's right there. Downs versus Davies. No contest. Goal number 4 coming up.
I hate to repeat myself, but they've got to do something there.
Troy could. There's a chance for Rod Campbell. He goes short, looking for Harris, and he's found him on the edge of the square. 23 minutes gone, and Rick Davies wants it in long, and Harris can kick it that far, and that's a monstrous kick from the edge of the square. What a goal! Darren Harris has boomed one. How do you stop the Panthers? 9 goals, 1. Sturt, 1 goal. In a sensational start by South Adelaide today at Football Park, of course, led by Rick Davies at the goal front. But South Adelaide were winning it consistently out of the centre square, and with guys like Schneebichler, Darren Harris and Rick Davies taking marks, the Sturt defence was certainly under all sorts of pressure. At quarter time, South led by 49 points, and when we go back to Football Park now, we're at the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. South Adelaide are 10 goals 3, Sturt 1 goal 1. Sturt have made a few changes this quarter. It appears as though Peter Motley may have gone to centre-half back to try and control Schneebichler as Naley drives them forward again. Darren Harris has got the run of the ball. He's away from Downs, hooks it back around his body, chases on. Philip Ward first there, and we'll see the throw in the right forward pocket for the Panthers. Graham, I would say that Peter Motley now being used in a key position at centre-half back to try and watch Schneebichler, and Mervyn Kane I just saw in the middle of the ground.
Well, the other side issue is that he wants Motley to be free of a tag, I'd say.
The ball deep in Panther territory. Blues desperate. Motley with the ball now. Has to kick it out wide. to the pocket. Frost won't get there in time. Almost, but not quite.
I don't really agree with shifting Peter Motley. He's been doing magic things as a rucker over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and because of 1 quarter of being a little bit down, he's decided to shift him, which I don't think's on.
I don't think that's why he's done it at all. I think he's done it to stop the rot, isn't he, Graham? Couldn't exactly call that an easy quarter for the Blues last quarter in the forward line.
Of course it wasn't, but I mean, you must think attack, Keith. You can't go negative and say, well, let's stop them. I mean, Peter Motley's a match winner. Should be playing forward of the play.
He's played very effectively in defence for them, though, Graham. You've got to
sure. He's also been a brilliant ruck rover for 5 weeks.
Let's get back to the footy.
The bounce down, it went to Nailey. Nailey gave it to Fairclough. Fairclough snaps around his body and chalk up another one. South Adelaide, 11 goals, 3. Sturt, 1 goal, 1, and the first goal on the board for Fairclough.
Yes, David Fairclough's first goal, brought about by the magnificent Mark Nailey, who really is a player of great quality. He gets the ball, something always seems to happen. And his handball was magic. He found David Fairclough, who's done quite well in his first game back for a long time. And I see now Neil Craig coming into the fray. The captain of Sturt has been called for the interchange bench, and he might have some say in proceedings now.
6 minutes gone, 62 points the difference at Footy Park as the captain Neil Craig stands and wonders what on earth he can do about it. Clonk traps it. Ball's moved forward by Painter. Kapler in the way. Oh, beautiful hand pass. Not quite as good as I thought. Didn't reach Bennett. Bounce was good for him. Onto Wall. Ducks well. Kicks it deep. Spoil away at the back was Peter Reid, but Steve Beckler's got it. Neil lined it up. He's not going to get another one, is he? I think we'll go over half-time at this rate. 12 goals, 3 South Adelaide. Sturt, 1-1.
Well, John Simbickler playing the role of a rover with that particular goal. They're doing it always, South. They can do no wrong, as I've said 3 or 4 times already in this game. And John Bickler running free of Peter Motley, who's gone to centre back, as Keith Conlon told us a few moments ago, or it might have been Rick Keegan that noticed that move, and made no difference to John Bickler. He kicked the goal around his body, and that's South Adelaide's 12th goal.
The Sturt captain, Neil Craig, onto the ground. Paul Hollis off for the double Blues as Spiel wins the tap. It's loose in the centre of the ground as Painter picks it up and a hurried kick towards half forward over the head of Michael Graham. Ryan goes through, but he tapped it to Wilmot. Wilmot appeared to get one very high there as Ryan ducks his head. And that's and Ryan holding his head and saying, well, what about the Scott umpire? Yes, but that free kick was exactly the same one as Rick Davies got some 3 minutes before, if you recall, boys, when
Whittlesey went down, didn't he?
He put the tackle on Greg Whittlesey, and Ian Wilmot's done exactly the same thing, and the decision was full 100% correct.
Well, Wilmot lines up for his first shot at goal, and mercifully for Sturt, he gets it, and they go to a solitary 2 goals, 1 behind South's 12-3.
Sturt creep a little closer. Still a big job ahead of them. As Spiel and Christie do not get a jump at that. There's an increasement in the centre square. South Adelaide defending, and Frank Spiel the free kick. Big Frank Spiel drives it long. Brooksby and Wilmot. Brooksby got front spot, couldn't take the mark. Quick handball goes back. South Adelaide run it nicely out of defence. Over centre wing. Over the head of Schneebickler. Chance for David Kapler. He needs support. He's got Michael Bennett there, and Bennett appeared to get one far too high. Is play allowed to go on? No, it'll go back.
Another one here. Here's your head. Watch your hurry.
Michael Bennett with his 8th kick. Moves the ball in towards the centre half forward area for the Panthers. Big pack. Frank Spiel decides to try to tap on. Has got to get it out now. Does so. Ball now moved forward for the Blues, but for how long? Whittlesey comes out from the pocket. He can't do much. Yes, he can. No, he can't. What in the back has to be. Bit unfortunate, but that's the way it goes.
Can't argue that one.
No, Todd Viney fell on the South player, and so the Panthers going to attack.
It's Darren Kapler. Drives long, looking for Schneebickler. He's got 2 to sideways, but he's held onto the ball, and well, of course that's a mark. No doubt about the ability of John Schneebickler. 2 Blues against him there, and really didn't get off the ground, but held onto that ball safely.
One of the rare times I've seen Peter Motley nonplussed then. He just couldn't seem to get into the action then.
John Schneebickler, kick number 6. He won the toss today, and I wonder if he would have known at that point of time what a great start it was going to give South Adelaide. There's another goal on the board for Schneebickler. He's got 3. South Adelaide are 13 goals, 3 to Sturt, 3-1.
Yes, well, that goal came about by a magnificent long kick from Darren Kapler, who's doing a lot better this week than what he was able to do last week in the game against West Adelaide when he was replaced at half-time. But that was a magnificent kick by Darren into the forward line, where John Schneebickler was able to outmark Peter Motley and Frank Spiel for that matter, and finish it off with a lovely goal.
So 4 goals to 2 in the second quarter. We're over 12 minutes in. Panthers still dominating. It's a beautiful run by Smith, though, to put the ball deep for the Blues. Chance for Derrington now if he can recover. No, he can't. Brooksby's there. Now, Wilmot finds Graham, and he's got it. Michael Graham, just that little bit lonely. Lines up only about 25, 30 metres out. And with his experience, he should sink it. The hush falls over the Blues camp. He's got it all right. The Blues just get one more back. 4 goals 1 against the Panthers 13-3.
There's the evergreen Michael Graham. That's his first goal for the game. He's been playing the whole journey of the match in the forward pocket so far and has had very little to do. Not his fault, of course. The ball doesn't come down there. But when it has been there, I think Michael Lockman's mopped up pretty well. But that's the first time he's got away from Lockman. And Ian Wilmot's goal, really. Ian Wilmot battled the odds end, picked up the falling ball, flashed it across to Michael Graham, who finished the work off with Sturt's 4th goal.
Still no change in the ruck department. Gary Christie against Frank Spiel. Spiel normally rucks all day for Sturt. He's had a great season. Averaged something like 41 hit-outs. Neil Craig. Handball goes out wide to David. Walk with a bit of pace. Drives long. There's nobody home for the Blues. Which way will it bounce? The Sturt fans love it. Give them something to cheer about as Sturt creep closer. 5 goals 1. South Adelaide 13-3.
Oh, what a great goal from David Walk. I didn't know he had that much kicking ability. I didn't know his kicking ability would cover that bigger range. He's kicked it a good 60 metres and has bounced through because the goal square was unprotected. With Ian Wilmot leading for the ball. And lovely goal from David Walk, running free from his wing and finished it off with a bit of a pom. Great effort, David Walk. That's Sturt's 5th goal.
We've got a game on our hands in the second quarter now. 4 goals apiece and only 14 and a half minutes gone. Bennett takes it out for the Panthers. Whittlesey in the race. Ball won't really sit for him. He picks it up well in the end, though. Gets a bit of help there from Downs. Downs the kick down the grandstand side to the wing area. Craig tries to read it well, but no, Paul Martin's there for the Panthers. He's got to keep running backwards. There's good pressure by the Blues, and there's a kick. Free kick. Mistake by the Blues. Paul Martin. Sturt supporters did not like that decision, but I think it was there from Neil Craig as Martin's kick goes long. Up goes Schnee Bickler. Almost 4 players flying for the double Blues there, and that means there's Panthers left alone on the ground as Naley's kick goes long, looking for Davies. At the back, Reid. The chase is on. First to it will be Whittlesey. Taps it in front of him. Picks up now and drives towards the outer side. There's David Walker. Just kicked that great last goal for the Blues. Man, he's got Kapler to beat. And the decision, as Graham Campbell called it, to Darren Kapler.
Actually, you can't find fault with the umpires at all today. They've been spot on.
There's a little bit of loose work by the Sturt defence because Kapler was not pushed at all to find Troy.
And of course, Darren Troy's not ruck roving now, Keith. With Peter Motley going to centre half back, they're now ruck roving David Kapler and Rod Campbell off the half forward flank, South.
So Troy lined up from a long way out, and it's not much of a kick, in fact. Oh my gosh, Downs goes for the spoil instead of the mark on his own. And now the pressure on the Blues defence to see if they can bring it out of there. The player on the bottom of that pack could well have picked up a free kick for a high tackle.
I would have paid the neck.
And he has. And it's Eddie Fry back after 2 weeks of suspension. And he kicks down the grandstand side.
Long kick towards centre wing. Schnee Bickler in the middle of the pack.
Did someone say leave it?
They must have, because Schnee Bickler stood there and took an easy mark as he kicks in long. Up goes Davies. There's a great mark by the champ. What do you say about Rick Davies? 7 fine marks today, and he's really in great touch against his former club, Sturt.
Well,
already really 5 goals on the board.
He's really showing the Sturt select what he's all about, and he's more or less saying to them, fellas, you should never let me go. Although, who can argue Ian Wilmot? He's done a marvellous job since Rick has left the club.
Rick's got 5 goals won already from...
Take that
something like 6 shots, but there's the 6th goal on the board to Rick in only a quarter and a half of football. South Adelaide 14 goals 3, Sturt 5-1.
Well, the big fella's on fire today. You know, I think a lot of people around town predicted this, including myself, that Rick Davies might just get a bag full in his first challenge against his old club Sturt. and he's really setting his club alight. He's giving them something to shoot at, he's holding his marks, and more importantly, he's kicking his goals. That's 6 goals, and what are we, 16 minutes into the second quarter. Marvellous performance.
49 points was the break at quarter time, and the Panthers have opened that up in this second quarter to 56 points. Sturt have managed to stay with them at least, but they've got a long way to go. The Panthers won't let this one go without a fight. What's more, they're fighting from a point of some vantage, aren't they?
My word. Christie got the tap. That's fair play for the Panthers, and he'll hook around his body, looking for Darren Harris. Downs couldn't take the mark, stolen by Philip Ward. The running player is Rodney Campbell. He lines up the white sticks, and that's jolly good as well. And that could be the first goal on the board for Rod Campbell. It is. South Adelaide continue the third quarter. Big test of character today for Sturt. Their recent form's been very good, but today they've more than met their match so far with the Panthers. And Eddie Fry takes it away from the centre for Sturt and drives over the half-forward flank. He'll find Todd Viney. He's got to beat Ryan, although Viney lost his footing and Ryan looked to be tripped. He was. That's a free kick.
From the half-back flank, the Panthers move it only to find Frank Spear. Zubranic on the ground in the third quarter gets his first kick for the game, but he finds Kapler. Kapler getting some attention from Walk. It's Darren Kapler, picks up the 15-metre and takes it away, and he can run like man. Beautiful kick. Cop this for a kick. Davies could let this go, but he doesn't. He takes the mark. Davies' 8th mark for the game. He's got, what, how many already? 6 on the board already. And he'd be pushing to miss this one.
I just marked it down.
He's in the square. 6 minutes gone. A chance for the Panthers' second goal in the second half here at Footy Park. There it is. South Adelaide, 18-4. And that's he's now equalled the South Adelaide goal-kicking record here at Football Park. 7 goals back in 1981, and it was against Sturt. Ray Linky kicked 7. So Rick Davies is in the record books for the Panthers. Only, what, 5-6 games in for them.
And there it is again, the vice-like hands of Rick Davies. By gee, he's played well today. He puts his hands up, he captures that ball with a one-grab situation, and he really has led the Sturt defence and merry dance today with 7 goals on the board, as Keith just said, and he's been a powerhouse, the old Rick.
South Adelaide certainly on fire today. Records could be coming left, right and centre. The way South Adelaide are going at the moment is Mark Nader gets one blatantly high in the centre of the ground, and the free kick to Mark.
A little high, wasn't it?
Kick number 10 for the Rover. He's had a good day. 11 handballs as well, so he's been in the play. Picked out Darren Harris on the half-forward line, and in the first quarter we saw Harris kick one from virtually inside the square here at Football Park, and that's a massive kick. So there's no doubt that he can make the distance here, even though he's probably still a good 40 to 50 metres out.
He's got a kick like the proverbial mule.
Well, there it goes. It's a powerful kick. Has he got the accuracy? Umpire saying no, just touched on the line, so maybe we're giving a bit more credit.
Well done by John Reid.
Peter Reid.
Sorry?
Peter Reid it is.
Peter Reid, sorry. I've called him John Reid all day. Who's John Reid? Does he play for somebody else?
I don't know. I think he's in politics.
Right.
Meanwhile, the kick out from Peter Reid. Couldn't find Frank Spiel, got the hands to it. Now, Painter again with the kick forward. Out into the wide open spaces on the wing. David Kapler wins the run to it. He doesn't quite keep it in.
Well done, Peter Motley.
Peter Motley turns beautifully, gets one very high. Couldn't be taken by Lockman. Painter.
Great handball.
Great handball through. You heard it from Graham Campbell. Gee, that kick from Michael Graham's a bit of a push. He's got to play it on here. Oh, no, what a lovely feint. Oh, no, everything went right until the last moment. And Sturt pick up 1 point.
Deserved the goal, that bit of work by Sturt. John Painter started it off with an electrifying hand pass, and the ball finished up in Michael Graham's astute hands, and I really thought he sold the dummy beautifully to the oncoming South Adelaide player, but he missed the goal.
Experienced Stuart Palmer gives it to Brooksby, and Brooksby forwards it to Troy. And the Panthers drive over centre wing, a high kick. Schneebickler didn't get up for the big fly. Fairclough couldn't handle it. Whittlesey in there for the double blues. Philip Wald overran it. Tim Paech. And it's going to be a stalemate and a ball up. Approaching 9 minutes of the third quarter. South Adelaide still with a big break.
The bounce on the grandstand wing. Schneebickler taps it forward. David Walk couldn't pick it up with the blues. Sneezer again. He goes forward. Oh, there's a nice little bit of healthy tapping. Davies waits and waits beautifully. It
coach Rick Davies again. He was going to have a shot for goal, and he thought better of it and decided to salt the dummy, but was well captured by Peter Reid, and he gave the hand pass across to Darren Harris, who put Darren on his wrong foot, but he was equal to the task. He curled it around left foot, popped it through post high. Nice goal from Darren Harris, who's had a real effect on the game from the pocket, and that's his 4th goal for the game.
Back in the centre, and although Frank Spiel has been winning plenty of taps, it's been mainly South Adelaide taking the ball away from the centre. As Spiel wins another tap at Miss Craig, chance for Nayley. He's bundled off the ball by Frost. A good number of players engulf the ball. We'll see another ball up in the centre of the ground.
So another bounce. Umpire Schramm sends it high. Spiel the tap this time finds Smith. Robert Klomp turns, has a look, has David Frost out wide. He's got a bit of room to move and go for goal. He's got plenty of power in the boot. And goal for the Blues. 10 goals 2 they make now against South's 19-5.
That's David Frost's 2nd goal for the game. And as I said earlier in the match, he has got a prodigious kicking foot, David Frost. Give him a chance 50 metres out. He can always have a shot for goal from there, because he certainly gets a lot of distance with his kicks. I just noticed, fellas, also, John Paech is playing in the pocket. He's roving this quarter out of a forward pocket, and therefore they've changed their centre line setup. Sturt, I think Neil Craig's in the middle. Grant Zubinic's gone to a wing, and we have David Walker on the other wing.
So after a first opening burst by South Adelaide in that first quarter, it's really been goal for goal in the second quarter, and so far to start the third. But Sturt have got to do more than go goal for goal if they're to win this one out of the fire. Downs takes possession. He goes to ground. Was he legged? No place allowed to go on as Fairclough takes possession. He goes backwards, concedes ground, gives it to Martin. Martin puts one up with the gods, up and down the one spot. Schneebickler flies. Off hands it comes. Whittlesey, he clears it towards the centre of the ground.
In the centre, Klomp waits for it, tacks it on very cleverly to David Walk. Can he pick it up? No, he can't. Oh, there's the mistake. Thank you very much. South Adelaide go forward through Stewie Palmer. Here comes Nayley. Oh, there's the champion. Just watch carefully as he puts it in. Thank you very much. South Adelaide will mark for Schneebickler, and they'll go through the work of Mark Nayley.
Superb football by Mark Nayley. He really has got so much talent, that boy. And he gets the ball, he spins on a thrifty bit, doesn't he? Talking in the old terminology. It'll be a
1966. It's still a thrifty bit when you turn like that.
Oh boy, he certainly he never fails to amaze me, Nayley. His consummate skills.
John Schneebick with 13 kicks, a great game at centre half forward for the Panthers. Puts it through. South Adelaide hit the 20 goal mark. 20 goals 5, Sturt 10-2.
And South Adelaide went on to a magnificent victory this afternoon, their 3rd win of the season, and a good effort by Rick Davies and the Panthers. They kicked 25 goals 10, 160 points, to Sturt 20 goals 8, 128, and for the Double Blues, that was their highest losing score at Football Park against any club. The goal kickers, well, for South Adelaide, Rick Davies got 9, and that equalled the South Adelaide club record for the most goals against Sturt, and of course the previous record, CC Diddy Munro kicked 9 back in 1933 and 1937. Harris got 5 along with Schneebickler, while for Sturt, Motley and Wilmot 5, Frost, Graham and Fry 2. And the stats from Football Park this afternoon: kicks South Adelaide 190, Sturt 181. The marks 63 to 50. The handballs 99 played 80. The frees 29 against 34. The rucks out of centre, pretty even score there, 24 apiece, and the scoring shots 35 played 28. And after the game, Keith Conlon spoke to Rick Davies and Tim Paech.
Rick, congratulations on a fantastic win with the Panthers. I think it wasn't so much the story of Sturt playing badly in the first quarter, but I think the Panthers could have taken on anybody and won in that first quarter particularly.
Yes, well, we've been playing very well in the first quarter in our games. All of our games we've been getting a good start. And I think against Glenelg a couple of weeks ago we kicked about 8 or 9, and we did it again today. And we just seem to be able to hang on in those games. But when we don't get a good start, we seem to be overrun, as West did against us last week.
Obviously, it was a pretty toughy game for both sides today. Did you have a particular tactic lined up for that first onslaught?
A particular tactic? Well, obviously I know most of the players, and that's the Sturt players. And I suppose I had a little bit of a plan. I knew that Obviously, Peter Motley's been getting 27 or 8 kicks. Smithy's been getting 25 or 26.
And you obviously had them covered. David Kapler obviously did brilliantly to shut Motley out.
Well, I think that David Kapler's a great player in his own right. And to shut him out, I didn't put him on him as a tag. I put him on Motley because I think that they're two great players and both of them can play their own game. I put Darren Troy on Daryl Smith because Smithy's been having an excellent season this year and they're basically the same type of player. Both bore through players, and I thought that our two boys did remarkably well today. So when you say a plan, I think that you've got to put players on players, not so much as a tag, because I think a tag is spoiling our game, and you go too defensive. So we had a plan, obviously, but the first plan was to get the ball.
What about some of the players that you've noticed who are really making South the side they are now?
Well, I think that Darren Troy is a real workman player. I think that you look at Lockman, Michael Lockman in the back pocket, he's done the job. Brooksby, an old veteran you might say, he did a great job. David Kapler's a real star. He's a funny sort of character. He's a quiet sort of a bloke, but he's a real champ.
And his young brother Darren knows how to take off, doesn't he?
He certainly does. And you know, we had good players around. Sneezer, I thought John Sneevickler came into the game today. We had, well, you can't go past Mark Naylor. I've always credited him as one of the best rovers. You know, you talk about Ant Tribus and Platten and those. The little fella never ever lets me down. He's a great little player. And, you know, big Gary Christie went all day. I think that, well, put it this way, I said to them after, you can look me all in the eye and go home tonight and say, well, I gave my best.
Tim, you've been finding form in the last few weeks, but it must have been hard to face the onslaught of the first quarter like the Panthers start today.
Yeah, they started very well, Keith, and after that, you know, it was where do we go from there? 9 goals down, I think it was, at quarter time, and we really were behind the 8 ball. I think in the last 3 quarters we got back and we virtually scored pretty well along the same lines as South Adelaide.
Can you explain what went wrong with Sturt apart from what went right with them?
Very difficult question. I think initially South Adelaide got the ball out of the centre. Their ruckman played particularly well, and Naylor did extremely well early, and really they just jumped us.
It, in retrospect, certainly looked like a coach, the opposition coach, knew a lot about the Sturt side, obviously. He managed to counter 2 of your real winners, Peter Motley and Daryl Smith, both of whom have had fine years for the Blues. That paid off, obviously, didn't it?
Sure, yes. I think they tagged Motts most of the day, and the other follower played on Smithy all day, and certainly they did a good job.
Who are the players in the south side who impressed you most?
Well, I think that they had about 20 winners, Keith.
Yeah, some good comments there from Tim Paech, and of course it certainly was a very good game of football at Football Park this afternoon. If you're one of the crowd out there, you certainly got your money's worth from both sides, and of course looks like being a good game there next week as well, because South Adelaide take on West Torrens next week. Okay, to our mark of the day competition.